Hello there, you amazing viewers and subscribers, and welcome to a brand new Doctor Who Big Finish review. So in this review, it is a fantastic story. It is one I got yesterday that I did the unboxing for, and I sat down and listened to it yesterday. I loved it. I just genuinely fell in love with it. This story is fantastic. It is, how can I say this? It's epic. It's brilliant. It's fantastic. I absolutely loved it. I really did genuinely loved it. It is just an iconic story, and you could tell by the emotion that I really did enjoy it. It's brilliant. It's epic. It's fantastic. So this story I'm going to be reviewing is, of course, Doctor Who, The Daughter of the Gods. As you can see, I changed the cover because it does come with two, where you can change it into colour or black and white with the Troughton logo. And then on the side we do have like Troughton's face. Anyway, this is my review on Doctor Who, Daughters of the Gods. And it's genuinely an epic. I actually do consider this to become a masterpiece. I really do consider it to be a masterpiece. I really do. It is 10 out of 10 for the ranking. I absolutely flipping loved it. I absolutely genuinely loved it. I mean, come on. That's my notes for this story. And I genuinely did love it. I genuinely did, absolutely. I enjoyed sitting down, listening to this for over an hour. And it is a fantastic piece of Doctor Who writing. It's 4 parts long, so it's not as long as some 60 stories. And it's just genuinely fantastic. It really is. Now, for me to actually sit here and say, Freezer Hines captures Troughton really well in his performance as the second Doctor. Now, unfortunately, Troughton did pass away in 1987. So, for them to carry on with the second Doctor's run and to have Freezer Hines, who basically played Jamie McCrimmon, and Jamie's in the story as well. So, Freezer Hines does play Jamie and, of course, the second Doctor. And his performance as the second Doctor is phenomenal. It is just genuinely phenomenal. It feels so much like Troughton. Again, it's just absolutely spot on. I really did enjoy listening to it. I really did. And Peter Purves does an absolutely brilliant job bringing Hartnell's Hartnell's side of the Doctor to the first Doctor. It is just genuinely brilliant, absolutely brilliant all the way through. These two actors, who basically worked with the actors that did the actual work of the Doctors. I mean, Freezer Hines worked with Patrick Troughton during Doctor Who in seasons 4, 5 and 6, where Peter Purves, he actually did manage to work with William Hartnell back in 1965 to 1966, containing over 2 stories in season 2, and he was in the filmology of season 3. I think it's in all of season 3 apart from the last story, which is the War Machines. Because I think his last story is the Savages. I could be wrong. It could be the one before the Savages. I'm not too sure. Season 3 is the one season I don't know a lot about because it's genuinely missing. I mean, the only story I actually do want to see existing is, of course, the Daleks' Master Plan. I absolutely genuinely love Daughters of the Gods. It's very, very timey-wimey. It's got stuff going on in it. And it even just changes the history of the basic plot. So, after leaving Troy with Stephen and Katarina, normally the first Doctor went straight to Cambrai, something like that, I think, where he encounters the Time Daleks, where he catches the Time Controller Dalek and he ruins their plan. Where in this one, it's kind of different. So, we start off with them inside the Time Vortex with the Doctor, Jamie and Zoe, because the first part is literally from the second Doctor's point of view. Then you got the first part... the first part is off the second Doctor's point of view. The second part is the first Doctor's point of view. The third episode, you got the 2 Doctors meeting, and then on the 4th episode, you got them working together. Now, for them to actually be, what actually happened was when Jamie and Zoe were trying to find the kitchen and they opened a cupboard, Zoe finds a missing part of the TARDIS and she plugs it in. So when the machine's doing its job, it's supposed to detect any other ships in the Time Vortex. And the Doctor, being the Doctor, finds out he's racing cars in this cupboard, and he goes, "Oh, I know I've got 2 racing cars in it." And Jamie wants to go and play with racing cars with the Doctor, and so he's like, "No, Jamie, you're not playing racing cars with the Doctor." And Jamie's like, "Oh." I genuinely did love that story, that part of it. And then, of course, when you get into Time Vortex and they encounter the first Doctor's TARDIS in the Time Vortex, and because they end up colliding with each other and they end up landing on this other planet, changing the course of the first Doctor's run. Because in this reality, the first Doctor spent 3 months with Stephen and Katrina on an alien planet, becoming their tutor and stuff. So when you hear Peter Purves doing the voice of the first Doctor, it's genuinely brilliant. Genuinely brilliant. And then, of course, the second Doctor arrives like later on in his point, and he finds his first self warning the people of the planet to evacuate the planet because the Daleks are coming, including the time controller Dalek, which basically the first Doctor did stop, and it did lead to Katrina's death. Katrina does think that the first Doctor is a god, that the TARDIS is a temple. So I do kind of enjoy that, because I know nothing about the Mythmakers apart from I have it here in Target Novel Book. So I do have it here in Target Novel Book, Doctor Who the Mythmakers. So, and that's Katrina's very first story, and it's Vicky's departure. I absolutely genuinely love this story. For it to become like from in between the two main Doctor Who stories, it's just genuinely fantastic. And when you hear the first and second Doctors literally meeting for the first time, and they're arguing, and Peter Purves captures the first Doctor's arguments really well, and Fraser Hines does incredible work as Troughton as he's arguing with his first incarnation, basically the first Doctor, the second Doctor and the third Doctor arguing with each other about it and stuff. It's just really genuine fantastic. I love listening to the bicker. I'm going back to listen to this at some point, because this is genuinely a fantastic story. It really captures the kind of 60s feel to it as well. It really captures the 60s feel to Doctor Who, which is one thing I love about 60s Doctor Who and the 70s and 80s. It does capture their decade, and it really does capture the 60s decade. And this story was actually made back in 2019. So, and for the story to be made back in 2019, and it captures the 60s heart really, really well. And it's such a shame that the first Doctor and second Doctor never really got to meet. But as I say, for the Doctor's point of view, this is in season 3's point of view for the first Doctor, where for the second Doctor, this is in the middle of season 6. But after fixing time, they generally just forget about the whole events. The second Doctor does remember a little bit, because he remembers his conversation with Katrina, and because generally what actually happens is in the Daleks Master Plan, Katrina dies, just die, and it's terrible, and it does haunt the first Doctor and the second Doctor really. It haunts the Doctor really, really well. And the second Doctor is there trying to tell Katrina that she's not supposed to be here. She, you know, so on and so on and so on. I don't want to give too much about the plot away, because if none of you haven't listened to this story, I don't really want to spoil it. But it's generally just fantastic. Absolutely a genuinely fantastic story. I love listening to the Daughters of the Gods. It's really good for the first 2 Doctors really as well. And I love the fact that episode 1's from the second Doctor's point of view, episode 2's from the third Doctor, from the first Doctor's point of view. And then of course we've got episode 3 where the 2 Doctors meet and they like bicker and get captured by the Daleks. And then episode 4 is when they escape from the Daleks to their companions. And the one thing about the story is it's really, really good. Before the Doctors meet, the companions get mixed up, because Jamie goes off with Katrina, Zoe meets Stephen with the second Doctor. It's just fantastic, honestly. To have these companions mix up with each other. So you got Stephen with Zoe, and then you got Jamie with Katrina, and then at the end you're all mixed up, and the first Doctor goes, "I am telling you, leave them alone. You must not talk to them." I really love this story. It's just genuinely fantastic. I'm sorry to say, but I just loved it. It's just absolutely fantastic Doctor Who writing, and it really feels a capture of the 60s era so well. And for this to be my first CD of the second and first Doctor's, technically, even though it's the second Doctor story, it's just genuinely fantastic, and I really did love it. And so, Daughter of the Gods, ranking point, it's a masterpiece. It is genuinely a masterpiece. I can't say more than that. I absolutely genuinely loved it. It's fantastic. It's really, really good. Absolutely general fantastic and stuff. And that's all I can say about it. I don't want to give too much away. That's why I've not read all my notes. I'm literally going off from what I remember. My notes has got a ton of it. And if I'm going by my notes, this would be a 20-minute long video. And I'm trying to put it down. So anyway, thank you for watching this review. Thank you for watching. Please do like, subscribe, and share. And let me know in the comments what you think of Doctor Who Daughter of the Gods. Thank you for watching.